Men were charmed by her body and beauty, but as soon as they got closer to her, their manhoods disappeared instantly. Once upon a time, in a quiet village hidden between green hills and thick palm trees, there lived a young girl named Amoka. She was only 16 years old, but she had already suffered more than most people twice her age. Amoka was born into a small but happy family. Her mother sold groundnuts in the market, and her father was a palm wine tapper. Though they were not rich, they loved her deeply. Every evening, they sat together under the mango tree in front of their mud house, laughing and eating roasted corn. But when Amoka turned 7, her world turned dark. Her mother became sick. At first, it was just coughing. Then it became chest pain. Then weakness. The local herbalist came, but nothing worked. One rainy morning, her mother closed her eyes and never opened them again. Amoka didn't understand what death was. She just knew her mother wasn't waking up. Her father wept like a baby. He stopped going to the palm tree farm. He started drinking. He would sit by himself, looking at the road as if he was waiting for someone to return. 1 year later, he too died. Some say it was grief. Others say he drank poisoned palm wine. Nobody really knew. And just like that, Amoka became an orphan. She was taken to her aunt's house in the same village. Her auntie, Mama Igo, lived with her husband and 3 children. Their house was bigger. They had a radio, a bicycle, and sent their children to the village school. But for Amoka, life became bitter. Each morning before the cock crowed, she was woken up with a kick or a shout. Get up. Go and wash the clothes. Fetch water. Sweep the compound. Don't touch the pot. That food is for my children. Amoka was not allowed to go to school. While her cousins wore ironed uniforms and carried books, Amoka carried a tray of fresh fish on her head. Her aunt would hiss and say, "You think you're here to enjoy? You better bring back all the money from that fish." So, every day, Amoka walked from street to street, shouting, "Fresh fish, oh! Buy your fresh fish." The sun burned her neck. Her feet cracked from walking barefoot on the hot, dusty ground. But she kept going. Despite the pain, Amoka stayed strong. She did not steal. She did not beg. She did not sleep with men for help. She believed that one day, her life would be better. She was beautiful, not just because of her smooth skin or her round eyes, but because of the quiet strength in her spirit. She walked with her head high, even though life tried to break her. The village men noticed her. Some tried to flirt with her. Some followed her as she walked. Some whispered dirty things under their breath. But Amoka ignored them all. She did not want to be another sad girl with a baby on her back and no future. She wanted more. She dreamed of freedom. She dreamed of peace. She had no school bag, no notebooks, no friends to giggle with like other girls her age. Just the sound of her voice and the ache in her feet. Her auntie's children went to school dressed in neat uniforms while Amoka swept the compound, fetched water, cooked, cleaned, and then hit the road to sell fish. But one terrible day, all of that changed, because evil came for her, not with warnings, but with silence. Amoka walked barefoot along the narrow village path, a basin of smoked fish steady on her head. The afternoon sun had been harsh. She had just finished selling her last piece of fish and was walking back home through the shortcut path near the edge of the bush. It was faster than the main road, and she wanted to beat the evening rain. She heard footsteps behind her. She turned, thinking maybe it was someone from the village. 4 men stood there. They were not strangers. She knew them. They smiled in the market, greeted her before. One even bought fish from her 2 days ago. But this time, there was no smile. No greetings. Just silence, and something dark in their eyes. "Amoka, come now," one of them said, grabbing her wrist. She struggled. She screamed. But the bush was thick. The shortcut was empty. No one heard her. One after the other, they forced themselves on her, like wild animals, no pity in their hearts. She cried, she begged, she fought. But she was just a girl. Afterward, they zipped up their trousers and laughed. Say anything, and you die, one of them hissed, gripping her chin. No one will believe you anyway. Then they left her there, dirty, bleeding, shaking. She lay on the ground for a long time. The basin of fish had spilled, but she didn't care anymore. Amoka finally got up and walked home slowly. When she entered the compound, her auntie shouted at her for coming back late. Amoka didn't cry. She just went to her corner behind the kitchen and laid on the mat. Her body hurt. Her soul hurt even more. Days passed, but the pain inside did not. No one noticed her silence. No one asked why she walked with difficulty. She still had to go and sell fish like nothing happened. But something inside Amoka had broken. A few days later, Amoka could no longer carry the pain. Her body hurt, but her heart hurt even more. That evening, she walked away from her stall and went to the river, River Teudu. The people feared that river. They said strange spirits lived inside. But Amoka didn't care. She sat by the river and cried loudly. Let the gods punish them, she shouted. Let them feel what I felt. Let them suffer. Suddenly, the wind changed. The trees became still. Out of the shadows, an old woman appeared. I heard your cry, she said. I know what they did to you. Amoka was afraid, but the woman's voice was calm. She handed Amoka a small bottle with water and herbs. Bathe with this every night for 7 nights, she said. From the 8th day, any man who comes near you with evil will lose what he brings. Before Amoka could ask more questions, the woman disappeared into the air like mist. For 7 days, she had followed the old woman's instructions without fail. Every night after her chores, after her aunt's shouting, after her tears had dried, she bathed with the herbal water. On the 8th morning, the village woke to screams. 4 bodies had been found near the riverbank. It was them, the 4 men who had raped her. Some villagers said it was a coincidence. Others said they were drunk. But a few old women in the market exchanged quiet glances. These ones have touched what they should not have touched. Amoka said nothing. She felt no joy. Only silence. That night, as she sat alone in the small corner of the hut her aunt gave her, she felt something strange stir inside her. It was power. From that day,